No ice, not chilled, nothing.
No, I like mine warm.
Like it warm.
Like a fucking man.
Like a man. Put some hair in
It
your
is
chest.
a lot. I usually don't mean to put that much in there.
Show off.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Much's Wrench Set. I feel like we haven't seen you guys in a while. I tell you, it's been a busy summer. A lot going on. Sorry that we haven't really been pumping these out like we try to. Summer comes around. We're outside doing stuff. The weather's nice. Working on the cars. Having fun. And, but I didn't forget about you guys. We're going to try and keep them going here, obviously. And, still have fun for the summer. Welcome back to the show. We've got Justin on tonight. Justin and I go way back. He's a big car guy. Justin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Justin. Work at a local Ford dealer here. Sales consultant. Been in the automotive industry since 15, 16, 31 now. Been around cars a long time. Like them. Enjoy them.
This is where you hand the audience your business card.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, Justin and I are going to cover some good topics tonight. We're going to cover some new car stuff, a little bit of old car stuff, some latest and breaking news stuff, so it should be good. But to start out, a couple little things of point. Talked about it's just been a busy summer, a lot going on. I felt like after that Good Guys show, the real summer really just took off as far as everything. That Hemi that I had talked about with you guys, that Hemi and transmission that I was trying to sell out of that Charger, I finally got that sold. Ironically enough, I actually had created a plan for it the same week I sold it. Wasn't having any luck selling it because it had that spun bearing. Nobody wanted it, so I was like, you know what? Heck with it. I took it offline, and my plan was I was going to tear it down for an episode of the show. We're going to do like a cool time-lapse of the show, tear the motor down. I was going to talk about things, just kind of a general overview, like, hey, this is how you tear down a motor in 3 minutes, and it'll be fun. And, of course, what happens, like a few days later, a guy messages me, hey, do you still have that motor? Couldn't believe it. So I sold it to him. But, yeah, and the other cool thing that I was going to do with the motor is once it was torn down, I was thinking about creating a coffee table out of it and then trying to sell that so I could still make money out of it, get some good content out of it. But, I guess that guy had other plans. But funny story, the next thing in the news, guy I sold the engine to, turns out he had a couple Chevy pickups for sale, and I recently picked up a couple new vehicles for sale. I bought a 1990 Chevy pickup. It's a real 454 SS. And I also bought a 94 C1500 GMT 400. I don't know. What do they call these things? The 88 to 98 Chevys. Everybody's got a different name for them. I don't know.
Old Chevy.
People call them OBSs now. Have you heard that term?
No.
The OBS? Yeah, I had to look up that once. I was like, what is this? Like, I felt like a kid looking up like a, not an acronym, but what do you call them? Like the LOLs or RFOL. I had to look it up. I was like, what is an OBS?
What is it?
Old body style.
Old body style.
Yeah, so that's that's how old we're getting, that 88 to 98 Chevys are now old body style.
I feel like an OBS sometimes, too.
But, I picked these trucks up, bought them as a package. The guy needed them gone, and so I bought them, getting them cleaned up, getting them all ready, threw a few parts at them, and just detailed them. They were pretty ugly. And so those are actually going up for sale this week. So if you guys are interested, let us know. Like I said, 9454 SS and a 94 pickup, both two-wheel drive, single cab short beds, and those things are hot right now, man. I tell you, I look at the prices on some of those things, and what I'm going to list them for. It's crazy. I can't believe what these things are going for now. But I guess that's how styles work, and it's like everything right now. Everything's up. Everything's crazy expensive right now.
Everything old.
Yeah, everything old, everything new, just everything's expensive.
You got that right.
And we'll get to that. You can hear my feelings on that. But also, we're here at the show. We're actually looking for sponsorship now. As we're starting to try and put more of these episodes out, trying to get better and better quality. As you can probably tell, the video's gotten a little better. I remember the first episode, the video cut out halfway through or something like that. Just trying to put out better content for you guys, put more content out, just higher quality stuff. And so we decided the show is actually looking for a sponsor. something that we could we get some exposure to your company or business out there. Talk about you guys, sell you guys a little bit and get you out to some people that might otherwise not have heard about you. But yeah, if anybody out there is interested in that, once your brand name out there, talked about a little bit on the show for the whole 100 viewers we have or something like that. Yeah, let us know. We're looking. So with that concludes the news there. Justin, I'm excited to have you on tonight because I feel like all the guests have to hear my complaints about new car prices.
Hit me with them.
About buying my Dodge, about all that. Ford F-150s. Funny, some of you might remember when I bought my 16 Ram, I came to you that same day trying to buy an F-150. And I remember telling you, I think one of them was, what was it? I think it was 53. And I said, let's get it down to 43 and then start negotiating. And you were like, that's not going to happen. Yeah, what's going on, man? What's going on with prices, everything?
Man, it's keep getting more and more expensive. I mean, the tough part is a lot of the consumers are driving prices with wanting technology and stuff in vehicles. They want more and more stuff, and manufacturers keep giving it to the people because they're demanding it, and everything keeps getting more expensive. People are still buying new cars, but I mean, we're seeing a lot of leases. A lot of people are leasing nowadays, but yeah, I mean, everything keeps getting more and more expensive. Everybody keeps making the same. Prices go up on everything.
Yeah. Do you guys still have any sedans on the lot? Have those all gone away yet?
No. We still have Fusions. Fiestas are cut out of the U.S. market. They're still showing up. We just had a couple STs come in. Focuses were done being produced in 2018. So about all those are all
the Focus
dried up.
Is done?
Focus is done.
I didn't know the Focus was done.
But they're coming out with a new model. They haven't yet released what and when it's supposed to be out, but they did quit the 18s to revise them for a future year. Europe already did get the release of it, but the U.S., they haven't really talked a whole lot about it. They've been kind of focusing on 2020 Explorer just came out, and then we got the 2020 Escape. Ford's selling a lot of SUVs and trucks, so that's kind of what they're focusing on right now, but people are still buying sedans, cost-wise,
Well, you wouldn't believe it if you listened to the news or read the magazines, because they claim nobody's buying these sedans, so the manufacturers are stopping making them, which I guess, is a smart business move. If nobody's buying your product, don't make that product anymore. But I don't know how I feel about that, man, because I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I feel like when the next recession hits and everything tanks again, whenever that may be, people all of a sudden are going to be like, well, I can't afford these trucks or these SUVs. Where were these sedans? Oh, wait, we got rid of them.
Yep. And then market's going to crash on, SUVs and trucks because of gas prices if they go up. And then, you're driving people to buy sedans. But, I mean, another thing, too, is I can speak for Ford. I mean, I know over the next couple of years, they're really going to be pushing hybrids and plug-in energy, vehicles and stuff like that. So, I mean, you're going to be able to get in larger vehicles that get, similar fuel economy to maybe a mid-sized sedan. But you're paying for it. That's the tough part, too. So, you get a hybrid Escape that gets Fusion a fuel economy, but you got to spend another $6,000-$7,000 for it, so
yeah,
that's the other tough part. But they just need to redo the Fusion. It's a nice vehicle. It's just an aged body style. It's due for a refresh. There's still a market in sedans.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear there's still a market. I mean, if you guys are still selling them, if you're still seeing clientele come in for them, that's
absolutely
good. What do you say? What would you say moves the most? I mean, is it the F-150 that?
Oh man. We sell a lot of trucks and SUVs. I mean, where we're located at, that's just kind of what we keep in our inventory. So we do a lot of F-150s, a lot of Expeditions, a lot of Explorers, and then a pretty good amount of Escapes and Edges as well. So, I mean, we just sell mostly SUVs and trucks. We sell Mustangs. Mustangs still sell very well. But yeah, I mean, the car lineup's been cut quite a bit, so we're kind of just left with SUVs.
And you guys have the Rangers out now. How are those selling?
Steady. That's a tough market. I mean, the Tacoma's been, leader in that market for years, and they still lead it. So Ford just reintroduced the Ranger in 19. They just showed up earlier this year. It's going to take a while to get market share back, but they're nice little trucks. Anybody that's purchased one is giving me good feedback on all of them. So
nice. Well, that's cool. So being at a dealership, I'd imagine you meet all kinds of people. Do you have any funny stories that you can tell anybody without incriminating anything, or any stories worth note? Any crazy clientele that beat the hell out of a car on a test drive or anything?
not really I could think of off the top of my head. I mean, you never know who you're going to run into. I mean, can't judge a book by a cover, you know. I mean, I've had a little old lady take me on probably the most terrifying test drive I've probably ever been on, and I literally thought she was probably going to get us in an accident. She was that bad at driving.
What kind of car?
She came in and drove a Focus.
Okay.
Came in and drove a Focus, and yeah, she wouldn't. Like I was trying to tell her where to go, and she just wouldn't pay attention and just turned her own way. Turned like towards oncoming traffic. Went through a light. I mean, it was bad. I literally don't know how she was driving. That was probably the scariest test drive I've been on.
Jeez. So
I
you were
don't really get nervous in the car with people, but yeah, she was. I was like, okay, we're going back.
This test drive's over.
Keep making lefts. Like
Man.
we're done. So
Yikes. Yeah, I can't imagine because I don't know. I'd like to think I like people, but man, I'd be so nervous letting somebody just toss them the keys to like a $60,000 truck and being like, let's go around.
gotta trust them, I guess.
Yeah.
You get used to it. I mean, you just kind of feel that hopefully somebody with a valid driver's license is able to drive you around, but sometimes you don't know. It's part of the gamble, I guess.
Now, do people ever surprise you come in and say, hey, I've never driven a truck before. I don't know how to drive a truck or something, and then they take out a big truck and just curb rash it all over the place? Or?
No, I mean, a lot of people are very cautious in vehicles they don't own because they're not familiar with it, and if they damage it, they have to buy it. You know, so I mean, a lot of times people are pretty cautious about what they're doing. So if people haven't driven a truck before, you know, they'll drive and, you know, they'll check their mirrors and drive slow. But yeah, I mean, usually people are pretty respectful of stuff that's not theirs.
Nice.
If it involves them paying for it.
Yeah, that's good. I know every test drive I've ever gone on, I'm like, I'm white knuckling it, and I'm the one driving. I'm like, oh God, I.
And there's a lot of people that are like that. A lot of people are like, I don't even want to go on the highway. Like I don't want to be around traffic. You know, I just want to spin around the block. I don't feel comfortable. Or if it rains, they're like, I don't want to drive far. So yeah, a lot of people are just cautious.
Now with and I know most dealerships are probably like this with their high end stuff. Like on your high end cars, now there's stuff that you won't let people take on test drives. Is that true?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, mostly it's going to be some sort of a specialty vehicle, Shelby's, you know, stuff like that. High horsepower, low production numbers, high cost, you know. 'Cause, I mean, a lot of people, that's a dream vehicle, you know, to somebody. And somebody come in and be like, I want to drive it, you know. But they can't, you know, afford the means to purchase it or put gas in it, you know. So, I mean, a lot of times, yeah, I mean, most people that can buy vehicles like that, they're serious. They understand, hey, we got to talk business first before we talk vehicle, you know. But
so is that how you
respectful of it?
Yeah. So is that how you kind of mitigate it? You tell them like we have to talk numbers and do everything. I mean, basically, you have to be the buyer before we'll let you drive it.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people go in, I think, knowing that. And some people are like, "Why would I talk price if I don't even know it?" Be like, "Well, it's just because that's how we do business on these vehicles. If you want to look at a Fusion, like we could drive whatever Fusion you want to, but you know, and people don't want to buy a specialty vehicle and they think they're the first person driving it after they talk the numbers and then they go look at it and they're like, this thing's got 22 miles on it, you know, and you're like, yeah, some dude came in, thought he wanted it, drove it, and then he said, cool, thanks, see you guys later, you know. So sorry, you know. So sometimes people are.
Did you have somebody turn down a high end car because it had 20 miles on it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, we had a Shelby that we dealer traded, and we actually went and picked it up on like a flatbed trailer and brought it back to the dealership just so it didn't have miles on it, just to be respectful out of the person purchasing it. Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's pretty cool.
But I mean, Raptors are. I mean, they're a specialty vehicle, but they're fairly common. You know, they're produced more than, you know, Shelby's and stuff like that. So they're a more common purpose vehicle. I mean, you can buy a Raptor and drive it, you know, anywhere, anytime you want to. The Shelby's are kind of you're buying this and you're probably driving it 6 months out of the year type thing around here.
Yeah. Man, I tell you, I couldn't believe it. I was getting on the freeway the other day, and what passed me on the other side of the freeway was like a brand new Raptor, but it had exhaust, because I've seen a bunch of Raptors out, but I hadn't heard one yet. And because they're all V6s now, or EcoBoost, it had exhaust. Man, it did not sound good. It was bad.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They don't sound as good as those big 6.2s, but I mean, they're fast. I mean, they're fun to drive. You know, I mean, it's just it's a different sound.
As long as they still move. I mean, as long as
They move.
they have something to back it up.
Yeah, I mean, they get up, they move. I mean, they're still fun. They're still a blast, you know, plenty of power. But, yeah, I mean, those 6.2s, they just sound good.
Yeah, they really do. Well, folks, it was funny. When I asked Justin to come on the show, I also gave him some homework to do on the new GT500 because, a lot of my knowledge comes from, reading news articles about cars, the magazines, social media, TV, you name it. But I just haven't gotten much read-in time on the new GT500. And yeah, so you not only did you bring some information, you brought more than I know about any Chevys.
I had a little bit of downtime. So
what? So give us the overview. Pretend I walk in and I say, Justin, when it comes out, I'm going to be the buyer for this 2020 Shelby GT5. Are they Shelbys? Do they still call them Shelbys?
Yeah, they're still Shelbys.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I didn't know if the GT350s were still called Shelbys.
Yep, they're still Shelbys.
Okay. So give me the selling. How would you sell it?
I mean, it sells itself. I mean, if you come in asking about it, you already know what's going on.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
that's a good salesman right there. Folks, it sells itself. Do you really need me?
I mean, that's true. I mean, if anybody knows anything about the GT500, I mean, they already know. I mean, they know what it's about.
Well, they stopped making them for a few years, didn't they?
They did. 14 was the last year. So they quit in 14, just brought it back for 20.
Do you remember what the horsepower was when they went away in 14?
662, I think. I wasn't selling back then, but I think that was the number, 662.
That's a lot of power.
It's a 5.8 supercharged.
And that was in 14, that would have been the Coyote motor, right? Or the Coyote?
No, it's a 5.8. I think they call that.
Or they called something else.
Trinity. I think it's the Trinity.
But was that
Not like the Coyote? It's the Trinity.
Now, did that have the flat plane crank like the 350 did?
No.
No.
I think that's just a big V8. I mean, you ever see one of those things? I mean, they're stuffed in there.
Oh yeah, the modular motors, man, are nuts.
That thing's
huge.
They
barely fit between the strut towers. If anybody ever asked me to do headers on one, nope, I'm out. You're on your own.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but so 2020, it's coming back.
2020, it's coming back. 760 horsepower, 625 pound-feet of torque. It's a 5.2 supercharged with a dual clutch 7-speed Tremec.
Yeah, that was the one thing I didn't know how I felt when you told me that it was going to be automatic only. At least for now.
I mean,
at least for now. I always hold hopes that, the manufacturers will put a stick in it after the first couple selling years.
I hope so. I mean, just for putting a manual in it, but I mean the automatics now, I mean, they're quick. I mean, they shift quick. The 10 speeds that you get in the trucks, the Expeditions, the Mustangs.
You have 10 speeds?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I mean, they just shift quick. And this is I think this transmission is shared, I think, by the GT. I think they share some similarities. So I mean, you're talking very, very high quality transmission with a lot of power. I mean, it's going to be lightning quick. I mean, it's going to be pretty fast.
So 760.
Yep.
What RPM is that at?
7,300.
That's right, because these motors, they rev.
These will rev.
They rev high.
So it's a 5.2, but it's not the same 5.2 in the GT350. So the GT350 and this one have a different crank.
Okay.
It's the same, I think, similar displacement, but different crank. Let's see.
A lot of forged components, or?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, forged cross plane. The 350's got the flat plane.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's one of the big difference. Forged pistons, forged I-beams. It's got a 2.65 liter Roots supercharger on it.
It's got a 2.6 Roots blower?
Yeah, so it's a pretty good size.
Jeez, and what compression?
9.5 to 1. So pretty low compression.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You know who blew me away, and I'm going to get these numbers completely wrong. I'm going off memory here, was the... Gosh, I don't remember if it was the Demon or the Hellcat. I think it might have been the Hellcat. When that came out, 707 horsepower. It had probably a similar thing, probably a 2.2 blower, something big. Dude, and the compression was like 10.5 to 1. And I was like, how are these things going to survive on pump gas as daily drivers with that much boost? Because when you put boost in an engine, in theory, you're supposed to lower the compression. I mean, at least for non-3,000 horsepower, race cars. As you add boost, your compression should, in theory, be, I mean, it's not I wouldn't say it's a flow chart of it, but you know what I mean. Like, if you're putting 20 pounds of boost at something, you don't want 13 to 1 compression on a motor. So that's good to hear they have under 10, but yeah, the Hellcats blew me away. It was something like that, like 10 to 1 with all that boost, and I was like, even with 93, I would think the detonation's going to be up there.
And I think they've been holding up.
Yeah, they do. They're breaking everything else. I don't know if the motor's blown up. I don't know. If you guys know anybody with a blown up Hellcat, I don't even know anybody with a Hellcat. Well, that's not true. I do. Maybe we'll try and get him on the show. I've never been in it, never been around it, but it's kind of a friend of a friend. But
they're mean. I mean, they're pretty mean.
So tell us a couple other cool facts here. You got
one thing. Yeah, I mean, I
got a dictionary of information here.
I mean, Ford Performance got their hands on this thing, and I mean, they went over the top. 11 quart oil capacity. I thought that was a lot.
It is a lot.
So that was kind of interesting.
That is. So is it probably a dry sump?
That I'm not too sure.
It's got to be a dry, because you couldn't have 11 quarts in a wet sump oil pan.
That's
a diesel level.
That's a ton of oil.
So it's probably a dry sump motor, which, you know, everything's going that way. I mean, you know, these factory one-offs, not factory one-offs, but these factory race cars, as you call them, they're all going dry sump.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's crazy just the type of research and development they put in motors and stuff nowadays, like what has forged internals and also, I mean, a lot of Fords I think do just because of the turbos and stuff, but
yeah,
the engines are built tough nowadays.
And I'm actually surprised with everything going EcoBoost that the Shelby team hasn't, or Ford Performance team hasn't yet gone to turbos in the 500. That's surprising. I just thought about that.
Probably because
not that I want them to. I like the GT500 having that big whiny supercharger. You know, people always toss them out, put a Whipple on it, and make like 900 wheel. You know, I like that. I hope they stick with roots blowers for a while.
Blowers are cool.
Yeah. What's the wheel, tire, and brake package going to be?
Brembo's front and rear, 6-piston front, 4-piston rear, 16.5-inch two-piece rotor in the front. Yeah, 14.5 two-piece in the rear.
16?
Yeah.
They have 16-inch rotors in the front?
20-inch wheels, factory.
But 16-inch rotors?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
That's a whole lot of brake.
Jesus, the airbags are going to go off.
Yeah. Full MagneRide dampening system. So that's basically the active adjustable suspension. There's a massive vent in the hood, 31-inch by 28-inch. It's actually a little over 6 square feet. Even includes a removable rain tray. So you can take that tray out when you wash it or if you drive it in the rain, which is
pretty smart.
That's kind of cool.
And at least it's real. Everybody nowadays putting on these fake scoops on it.
It's a big vent. I think that's like most of the hood.
6 square feet of square feet of vent.
That's a lot.
Man, I'd like to see the CFM on that thing.
You can get a handling package with a gurney flap. It'll do 379 pounds of rear downforce at 180 miles an hour. If you get the carbon fiber track pack, the wing's inspired by the GT4 race car. It's two-way adjustable. It'll do up to 550 pounds of downforce at 180 miles an hour.
Jeez.
The front end was basically designed with a whole lot of functional ducts and vents and everything like that in it to kind of direct air, to cool, to push down. So the whole front end style has got bigger openings than the GT350s for the center and then for the brake ducts too. So it's completely functional.
Wow.
Carbon fiber wheels.
Oh, it does have the carbon fiber wheels?
Yeah, the carbon fiber track package is only an $18,500 option. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal.
I'm not sure what to say. $18,000 package. Usually if I see $18,000 on a used car, I'm like, that car is too much. That's the package on this.
So it's basically like an additional Fiesta you pretty much purchased.
Yeah, pretty much. You just took your kid's first car away.
Yeah, basically.
Man, that's cool though. So the carbon fiber wheels aren't standard. You got to get the carbon package.
Correct. You got to get the carbon package. Trying to think what other stuff's cool. B&O sound system. If you get the premium sound, 12 speakers, 1,000 watts. Subwoofer in the trunk, so it'd probably rock pretty good. It's got launch control. Got 4 different exhaust modes with a quiet mode too. So if you buy one of these, got to leave for work in the morning, don't want to wake the whole neighborhood up, cruising on through, put it in quiet mode. You can start it in quiet, rolling through quiet.
I could be wrong, but I think Ford is the only one that's doing that quiet startup mode.
I think so. I mean, I worked at a Chevy dealership for a short bit, and you can get the active exhaust on like the Camaros and the Vettes, but I don't think that they have a quiet mode.
Yeah, I think they're just like RPM based.
They could have it now. You can change. I think you can change the mode to like sport and stuff, but I think Ford's the only one that's actually doing like an actual quiet mode. And like when you put it on quiet mode, it's like, wow, this is a V8.
Yeah, because it seems like everybody's got these modes where you can change the exhaust, but I think Ford's the only one that's doing that quiet and that's cool. I like that because my neighbors, I'm pretty sure they all hate me.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
between the truck and the Camaro, when I start them up, somebody's baby's waking up, and somebody's all of a
Yeah.
sudden pissed off at me. So, as much as I like loud exhaust, and I like loud exhaust, that quiet mode would be cool.
It
That would be
absolutely
really
is.
cool.
It absolutely is. I think I heard a rumor that I think one of the Ford reps actually thought of the idea because I think he was driving a Shelby or something like that home, damn it, whenever it, and you know, you leave early in the morning. I mean, you're cruising through, you're waking that neighborhood up. You know, people are hearing it, whether you're beating on it or not. I mean, they just,
Yeah.
you know, they're there. You know, they sound good. So I think that's actually where it came from.
Well, hey, that's better than Chevy execs. Did you hear when one crashed the ZR1 a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. A big high up Chevy exec. I forget the name of the guy, but it was like an Indy race or something like that. He was like the pace car. Came around a corner, brand new ZR1, into a wall, crashed it.
I feel so bad.
Yeah, but at least you're the main guy, so there's only like 2 people that could give you shit.
Yeah. You can point the finger blame at somebody else.
Yeah. Everybody else is going to be like,
Told you to check that tire pressure.
He probably did. He probably went to the engineering department. Listen, your Magna ride is garbage.
Yeah.
Fix it. You're fired, though, man. But did you mention tire size? What it's got for tires?
Tires, yeah, it's got Michelin Pilot Sport Cups 2, so nice sticky tire. 305 ZR20s up front, 315 ZR20s in the rear. The carbon fiber wheels, they're actually 10% more lateral stiff than the standard GT500 wheel, and they're a 20 by 11 in the front and a 20 by 11 in the rear. Big wheels.
More stiffness in the wheels. Because, see, I mean, we all like to think that wheels don't have any give, any lateral give around a corner, but I guess...
Think about weight savings, too.
Yeah, the weight savings is a big thing.
I mean, I don't know how much those tires weigh, but I bet those tires might weigh more than the wheels.
With the carbon package, I'm going to say probably.
It's kind of wild to think about.
I mean, yeah, that is nuts. Because tires aren't light.
No.
But, I mean, when your wheels are lighter than your tires...
Yeah.
I'm not saying 18,000 is okay, but...
But it's sure cool.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool.
And it doesn't just get you the wheels and a wing. I mean, there's other carbon fiber components and stuff, too, that it does. But
the bits and pieces.
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Carbon fiber volume knob and all that.
I hope carbon fiber everything for that cost.
So, Justin, what is it going to cost to get you in a GT500?
Depends how you order it. I had a customer order one a couple weeks back, the one that he spec'd out.
Oh, you guys are already taking orders for him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had 2 allocations. They're both filled. One is... I believe a golden ticket, so it'll have the carbon fiber package and the painted stripe. The other one, which is the customer I had order, he spec'd his out, and I think his was like 82 or 83 on the sticker. So, and they can get more than that. And he got some options on his too, so they can get a little less. But
so that was 82 or 83 with the carbon package or without it?
Without it.
Without it.
Yeah, so he couldn't get the carbon package. He I think, got the handling package.
So you can get a GT500 into the 100,000s.
Yeah, I think the first one that was ordered, I think it was touching 100.
Wow.
Real close.
Wow.
It's a good deal.
If you say so. But that is a lot of car. I mean, that is a lot of car.
It is a lot of car. And I mean, the thing that a lot of people don't even consider is the cost of the car now. Think of the cost that it's going to be down the road. You know, they're only making a certain amount. You know, something like this holds its value very, very well. So, I mean, that's something, you kind of pay for it now. You probably get most of it back or all of it back, later.
And I hope so.
And the part that hurts is the guy that ordered the first one. He's probably just going to put it in storage. He actually has like a Shelby collection going on right now where he has like a handful of GT350s through a couple years in a couple different colors.
Really?
So, yeah, he ordered that one. I think probably everything on it. He'll probably pick it up, put it in climate storage for a while.
But it's going to, it's funny. We talked about this on the last podcast with Brad and Ryan about, one-offs and people storing them. But it's going to take him 20 years to appreciate. Is he in it for the long term?
I think so at this point. I mean, he's got a handful of the GT350s, so I mean, I think he's committed. But
wow,
I mean, the tough part is I mean, you spend the money on that kind of car. I mean, it's a badass car, and you don't even get to enjoy it. It's just kind of it's a business move almost.
Yeah, that's what kind of sucks.
They don't know how it'll pay out.
And I guess nobody knows how stocks are going to pay out, but that kind of sucks. I mean, because like let's say you put 80 grand into the stock market. I mean, it's just as much of a gamble, maybe even more of a gamble. But then you don't have an option. Like it's not like, well, it's in there, but I could be playing with it. With a car, with that kind of investment, you could be playing with it.
You can enjoy it. You can enjoy it some, and
but he's not.
Maybe lose a little bit of money.
Man.
But
I see the business side of it, and I like that because I'm all about making money, and I like that. But also, like, it's kind of a waste. I mean,
I'm just not a collector, man.
Because I'm a car guy, but I'm also kind of a businessman. So, like, I couldn't just store it.
No,
I'd have to take it out at least, like, maybe, I could see keeping the miles low, like 5,000 miles a year or less. But you got to drive the thing.
I agree. I mean, 5,000 a year is not even a lot for
No.
a year. I mean, maybe you put 600 on it a month, and that's maybe even trying to drive it.
Yeah, so maybe put 3,000 on a year or something, but
yeah,
you still got to drive it.
I agree.
So how many's he got?
I can't remember the exact number. I think he has like 6, maybe 7 of them.
Wow.
And I know one is an R because he got an R off of us, a 350R.
We're going to get a cease and desist order here for talking about it.
And I don't even know. All the other ones could be R's, and the R's are highly sought after. I mean, they made less of those than they did the regular 350s.
Wow.
We actually just got one on trade.
Really?
17, 800 miles on it.
Why didn't you drive it over here tonight?
I don't know why I didn't buy it.
Oh, so it's affordable.
Yeah, not really. But
well, what does a used
to some people
350R go for?
I think it's listed in mid-60s. It's a 17 with, I think, almost 800 miles on it. I think sticker on it was like 69.
Wow.
Dude didn't drive it.
Hey.
You know? It's nice. I mean, it's brand new. It's got plastic on the inside and stuff, but...
So do you think he was trying to do the investment thing and then just got cold feet? Or
I don't know. Maybe he bought it because it was cool, and he was just like, it's kind of too nice for me to drive around. I mean, I don't know, but I'd drive it. I mean, even if it's not on the track, I mean, that's like the track car, but I mean, I'd drive it.
Yeah, I feel like
that's
you should.
That's still a badass car to drive around.
Yeah, I feel like you should, especially spending all that kind of money. You gotta have fun with it.
Hurts me a little inside.
Yeah, it kind of hurts me talking about it because thinking about that, like I've never had a car that was even 50,000, and I mean to have something like that and not enjoy it, oh man, it kills me to not enjoy like a $20,000 car.
I agree. Or a $2,000 car.
Yeah,
I've
that
had some
too.
good times
And
with
those
some
are the most fun. I feel like something like a $2,000 or $3,000 beater. You can have more fun in that than you can with like a Lamborghini. Yeah. I'm telling you.
You just don't care about it. You're like, I'm gonna drive over this curb.
Oh yeah, because you can't ramp or go off roading in a Lambo, but you could take like an '86 Escort off roading.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Take
it down the woods.
Yeah. God, I love beaters. Man, I can tell you some stories about that. We'll bring those up. But, yeah, well, I tell you, I feel like I didn't bring my A game as far as information. But I wanted to talk about, since this is actually the first episode since it got unveiled, was the new C8 Corvette.
Yeah, they're cool, man.
It's big news, man. I feel like it's kind of outshadowing the 500 as far as the news goes.
Affordability. I mean, I think they say it's going to start at 60, so I mean, it's $20K plus less than the GT500, but
I thought they were saying 50. Was it 60 or 50? I forget already.
It's 60. I mean, I think the new ones now start mid-50s, so it's going to be a little more expensive. But
I think you're right. I think they said under 60,000 for the new Corvette, which I don't. All right, so you can tell me if any of this is BS or not, but I feel like there's going to be a 30% dealer markup on these things.
I mean, I'm sure the first ones are probably going to come in hot with probably some sort of markup, but it's a mass-produced car. I mean, I think that the C7 Stingrays, I think they were overproduced. I think the market was probably flooded a little bit with them. There's a lot out there.
They're having a hard time selling them now.
You know, I mean, there were. I mean, I heard people trying to buy Z06s, and they're taking like $20,000 off sticker to try and move them. You know, so I mean,
maybe I should go buy. If they're taking 20 off a Z06,
well, you're still spending, I think, close to 100.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
But
not cheap.
You know, I mean, that's a tough part with vehicles like that. I mean, you make it a achievable price range, and then you flood the market with it, and then you're like,
yeah, you can oversaturate the market. And the reason I bring up the C8 Vet, in case anybody's out there living under a rock, that's okay. That's why we're here to talk about these things. But if you haven't heard the big news, the C8 Corvette is going to be the first mid-engine Corvette ever. They played around with the idea a lot in the late 60s and 70s of doing a mid-engine vet, and just it never came to fruition. But yeah, it's coming out, mid-engine Corvette, a mid-engine Chevy. Like, I think that's why it's such a big deal. Like, Chevy is going supercar territory with a mid-engine now. I mean, it's nuts.
Affordable pricing.
Yeah, so they claim.
So they claim.
Yeah, none are out there yet.
It'll probably come with like hubcaps, cloth seats. I mean, that was one thing that I was kind of considering. Is I'm like, man, if they're doing a mid-engine car, I'm like, if that thing's $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, I'm like, they're going to price a lot of these current Corvette people out of market.
Yeah.
You know, they're either going to have to keep theirs or they're going to have to switch to something else. I'm like, there's a huge Corvette following out there.
Oh, yeah. And that was a lot of the speculation. That was what was on a lot of the forums and the news before it got unveiled last month was, is this going to be under $100,000?
Yeah.
Because everybody thought, including me, you can't re-engine, because they had to re-engineer it from the ground up to make a mid-engine. I mean, the only thing out of the parts bin is probably like the switches for the HVAC. How are you going to make any money doing under 100K? And they did. They claimed, on that unveiling, they claimed it was going to be under 60K starting. So
we'll see how it holds up.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see. But, yeah, you're making me feel bad with my notes here that spilled hot sauce on them here.
I took this down in like a minute or two, I think. It wasn't even really that much work.
Boy. This guy. Working at a dealership with the insider. Well, I don't have any inside. I've got like 5 lines. But so the Corvette's going to be the all-new LT2, which there's not really any details out about it because the LT1 has been the V8 in the Corvette since 14, the C7 iteration.
It's going to be fast.
Yeah,
they talk about power yet?
Yeah, they claim this LT2, which is a new motor. We don't really know any details yet, or not a lot of details. They say 495 horse, but here's the thing, and this is what they're claiming. They're claiming it's going to do 0 to 60 in under 3 with 495. And rear-wheel drive. It's still rear-wheel drive. It's not all-wheel drive. Now, I don't want to call BS on them, but I don't think you can do 0 to 60 in under 3 with only 495 horsepower. I don't think that's possible.
Oh, that weight's in the back, though.
I don't know if that's possible. Even in an all-wheel drive car. That's not...
Traction control systems... All the weights over the back tires mostly.
The 09...
Aren't they dual clutch transmissions now?
Yeah, it's a dual clutch automatic, which that's another thing. No manual.
Fast.
No manual. People are upset about that. We'll get into that.
They probably sell most of those
yeah.
automatics anyways.
I can tell you're an automatic kind of guy.
No.
Oh, yeah. You can say it. The golf course, folks.
Yeah, the golf course.
That's
folks.
all right. I think everybody's pretty realistic. The New Balance and the golf course.
Yeah, Corvettes, New Balance.
Well, there's a good mix. There's people who race their Corvettes and beat the hell out of them, and then there's the people who only take them out with the clubs in the back, which I'll get into that, why the C8 is perfect for them, too, which, everybody's got to be included. Right? Well, I'll get into that. But, yeah, so in true Chevy style, I think they've underrated the hell out of it. I think this thing's making closer to 6, if not more.
600 horsepower?
I think.
Naturally aspirated?
It's naturally aspirated. It's still overhead valve. Good Chevy, my boy. They're still keeping them overhead valve. They haven't gone OHC yet. But 0 to 60 in under 3 with 495. So we'll say 500 horse. That's not possible. I mean, unless you got a drag car with slicks on it, I don't know. But I think they're underrating it. I think it's making closer to 6. So, here's how we're going to find out. As soon as somebody buys one, somebody will put it on a dyno.
Somebody wrecked one.
Yeah, I did see that in the news today. Somebody wrecked one. I think it was like the Chevy team. So that's at least, that poor bastard got, rest in peace. He's fired. But
done. They just threw him off the side of that cliff there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was on like the twisties.
Yeah. Can you imagine that car? You see the car that he hit? It looked like an Equinox, hit the back corner, and like that Equinox was pushed up against the guardrail.
No, I didn't see it, but the car was messed up.
Then he hit a Danger Ranger, too.
Oh, no.
Took out the front of a Danger Ranger.
Oh, God. So he took out a whole field. Yikes.
2 people going around a corner.
Man, can you imagine?
No weight in the front. It's probably what it was.
Can you imagine all the hot rodders, though? They were probably on Craigslist in that area like the next day. Yeah, part of LT2. Oh, man. I can't blame them.
Surprised you didn't find anything on it.
Yeah, right? But, so it's already been wrecked, and it's not even for sale yet because you can't order them. Like you said, a lot of dealerships are taking allocations. I think they've been taking allocations for months now, honestly.
Probably since they first said something about the new Vet coming out. I'm sure people were like, put me on your list.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, but the C7s, like you said, aren't even off the lots yet.
No, I mean, C7s are cool. They're still Corvettes, but yeah, I think they just made way too many of them.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, like you said, I'd kind of read also that the C7s, at least recently, have been saturated. Like, they just can't sell them. They just can't move them, which I don't know much about C7s and the LT1s. I'm still learning about the LT1s and direct injection. But I haven't even ridden in an LT1 Vet, a C7 Vet. Just haven't been around one. Haven't known anybody that has one. If you guys know anybody that has a 2014 and up Vet, I'd like to take a look at it and see it. They come in 7-speed manuals. Did you know that?
Yep.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
It's kind of weird.
I think I would lose track.
I would too.
Like, that's a lot of gears. I'd be like, what am I in? Yeah, God forbid you put like a ball shift knob on it and doesn't have the numbers. Oh, God.
Yeah, that'd be tough. That's different, 7-speed.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anybody else that has ever done like a weird 7-speed manual like that.
Ford's not doing it yet? Well, like you said, they're going away from the manuals.
Yeah, we're just...
For now.
For now. I mean, I bet they'd probably... Maybe they'll make an option for a manual in a GT500. I think the 350s are still going to stay manual. I mean, there's still going to be a demand for manual.
Yeah, I hope so.
But just for speed, man, I mean, this be able to shift pretty quick.
Yeah.
Get up and go.
And like Justin mentioned, the new Corvette, it's a dual-clutch automatic. Excuse me. No manual option now. But it was interesting. So I figured there was no manual option because, well, so I read a few articles on it, and it's true that part of it is because people are buying more automatics than they are the manuals. It was like a big ratio, like 70 to 30 of like automatic to manual. So from a business standpoint, I kind of get it there, but they said even bigger than that was actually the engineering in it. Because with this thing being mid-engine, you know, they had to completely redo that chassis, all ground-up design, and they're saying I forget what they called it, like the spine or the midsection that Corvettes kind of always have, that I don't know what you call it. Not the trans-tunnel, but whatever hides that torque tube in a regular Corvette. They redesigned all that, but they're saying like the spine or whatever they're calling it of the car, like they couldn't adapt it. Now I know they
for a manual
can.
Or something.
They're saying they couldn't adapt it to where the shifter would have to go to get the linkage right. Now, I'm hoping they fix this. I say fix this because I look at it as a problem. But they're saying, yeah, they can't. The design of the car, the way they structured it, wouldn't allow for manual transmission, at least not yet. So
probably cost too.
Yeah, a lot.
I'm sure you probably could figure it out. It's probably just gonna like take a whole bunch of re-engineering.
Yeah, and I think they'll do it. But I, you know, so we'll see where things go. You know, I'm not shitting on the car because like I said, it's all business. I mean, I kind of get it. And I'm still excited for it. It's not like I'm like, oh, no manual garbage. And I know a lot of people are saying that. A lot of vet people, a lot of purists are actually pissed off. You know, Corvette purists are a very loyal breed. We'll call them that. You know, whatever they're into, they're loyal. I remember when the circular taillights went away with the C6 generation, or with the end of the C6 generation. People were pissed off about that. I was a fan of the circle taillights, but I mean, you know, times change.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Times do change. Designs change.
Yeah.
They evolve.
People were mad when the flip-up headlights went away. Yeah. So, yeah, I can only imagine how many people are just like, I can't think of a good metaphor, but yeah, people are pissed about this mid-engine Corvette. Some people. I think the vast majority is excited. I'm excited. I mean, because Corvette's trying to be on the edge. That's why they came up with the ZR1 back in 09. That's why they started making those. That's why I started making the Z06. Chevy is trying to not just be Chevrolet anymore. They're trying to compete with the big dogs, with the European stuff, and that's why they went mid-engine. And I think it's going to be cool. I mean, I'm excited. Let's go down. Let's go to the dealership, you and me. You can be like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, you can pretend to buy it with your good credit.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, it's only $60,000.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, man, I was write a check for this.
Yeah. Dealerships will probably have one for a while.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a year or two before
Going
they have
back
any.
to that test drive thing, like talking numbers first.
We won't be able to.
We probably wouldn't be able to drive it.
Yeah. Well, as long as we can look at it and like touch it a little, or fiddle
sure.
with something, break something. But yeah, they won't have any inventory.
Have
for
you
a
seen
while.
inside pictures of it?
Yeah. So I was going to ask you about that. The steering wheel is squarish, kind of like a race car. And they're saying they did that for the track. They designed it for track people. What do you think about that?
Probably. I mean, how many people are going to track their vets? I mean, probably
not very many. But do you like
4%?
Do you like that they did that?
I think it's cool. The only thing, I mean, the inside's cool. I feel like the Corvettes now have a very like driver-focused cockpit. So a lot of the stuff now on the vets is kind of mostly focused towards the driver. They have that big console and stuff. And they still brought that over into the new C8. The one thing that I noticed is there's a lot of buttons down the side of it.
Yeah, a lot of people are really there's like arguments going on those buttons. Like, is that a terrible design? Is that a great design?
I don't know what all those buttons could be. I mean, you can integrate probably most everything through the touchscreen nowadays. Climate, audio, I mean, all that stuff. So I mean, I don't know what all the buttons do. Heated seats, cooled seats, you know, maybe different drive modes, hazard button. But I think there probably could have been a better integration of that stuff. Maybe it's window controls. I mean, you think they put window controls?
Probably.
That'd be kind of dumb if they put window controls there.
I mean, between window and HVAC, you could easily have, 8 to 10 buttons. I mean, I think
there's
that's
two windows, 1, 2, and then you got, fans, up, down,
seats because it's still going to
Cool,
have the
so, I mean,
cooled and heated seats.
But that's the only thing that I noticed right off the bat. I was like, man, what's up with all those buttons? It almost looks confusing.
Yeah, the internet's pretty divided over that. If you guys haven't seen it, go take a look. Just Google C8 Corvette interior. The internet's pretty divided over it because, like you said, they keep going more and more cockpit focused, which I think is cool. It's all about the driver. That's kind of why that steering wheel is that D shape to give you more knee room when you're driving. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about the switches, but I do really like the cockpit. See, I'm even calling it the cockpit now. The interior, I do like it. And it was funny. I heard somebody recently compare it to the Supra, the old. You know your import's better. What was the last real generation? That was Mark 18 or whatever. I
don't know. Late 90s Supra.
Yeah,
the cool ones.
Yeah, the cool ones.
2JZ.
I don't know my Toyotas. But yeah, those ones. 2JZ. No shit. I hope you guys got that reference. But yeah, somebody compared it to a Supra, and I was like, yeah, it kind of is. You know, it
I could see that.
cordons you off in your little zone there, and it's just you in the car. So I'll be excited to. I'll probably never get to drive one until 20 years from now when this podcast is long gone.
Yeah, when they're all wore out.
No, one of the other cool things that I read about. Did you hear about the GPS lift system?
Yeah, where it'll have like points saved in its GPS or something, where it'll know to lift over speed bumps or something like that.
Yeah. So this car is, like all these supercars, it's going to be low. They need something to lift it up. The Ford GT, it's got hydraulically actuated suspension. And this Vette's going to be no different. It's going to have lift suspension, but Chevy, and I think this is. I was actually more excited about this just because it's completely innovative. They're going to have GPS saved lift points. So like, let's say you have to raise your car to get over a speed bump going into work. Well, they'll let you save that lift point on your GPS. And then when you hit that point again, it'll automatically lift the car when you get to that point.
Okay. So it's something you can save. Like you can.
Yeah. You set the points.
Like set as home, like for navigation.
Yeah.
So you can just set speed bump or whatever.
And they said it was something like 50 points, like a lot of points. Like, so driveway, if you take a certain way to work, that's always got bumps, you can raise it there, and it'll remember it, and the car will automatically lift it there.
Pretty cool.
I mean,
as long as it works.
Yeah, as long as it,
I thought it was a thing that was like automatically like default saved in the computer that like when you pulled up to this place to do it, and I was like,
I think it asks
going to know everywhere.
I think it asks you, like, do you want to save this?
I gotcha.
Yeah.
See, that's cool, but I mean, yeah, as long as it works, man, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll give you like a alert to like stop, like
to slow down.
You like slow down so it'll have time, because otherwise you're like it got it, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, that's what I didn't hear yet is how fast it works. Have you seen the Ford GT? How fast that thing lifts? A lot of people give it flack because of how like it lifts like.
Is it like really fast?
It's instantly and it's really loud.
Well,
it's like.
Who cares? At least you're not bouncing your front off something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, a lot of I feel like the exotic cars that have the lift on it. I mean, they're very slow. Like they're.
Yeah. And that's not good either.
No.
But yeah, I don't know.
Anybody happy? Too slow? Too fast?
Pretty much. I mean, the world's never happy. There's always going to be somebody complaining. The grass is always greener. But
yeah, you're right.
But yeah, that's cool. And I mean, coming from a guy who permanently keeps his location turned off on his phone. If I think that's cool, that's cool.
Would you turn your location on for it?
Yeah, that's right. I'd be coming up to the driveway, and I'd have to turn the damn GPS on in the Vette and hope I hit everything on before I get there. But I just think that's cool. I mean, that's pretty innovative. Cool. Yeah. You asked about the trunk. This is the first time a Corvette owner will be able to say it has a frunk. The trunk and the frunk. The front trunk. No, I didn't.
Can I put my golf clubs in it?
Yes. Did you see the press photos?
It's very important to me.
The press photos, they had Corvette embossed golf bags. I think they had 2 of them in the trunk.
So should just give you a set when
you buy one. So you and your buddy Bob can. Oh no, that's going too much for the stereotype.
You and your buddy Bob.
You want your Tommy Bahama shirt and your New Balances also at the dealership?
That's cool. I mean, it sounds like they did a good job. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I'm a car guy. I mean, I think anything's cool. I'm not really biased towards anything. I like my Fords, but I mean, anything new is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything really is, and that's why I asked you to bring the information on the Ford. I mean, I wish I had some information on some imports, but I'm just...
Maybe next time.
Yeah,
What about the new Supra?
Another
new hot...
Yeah, well, how do you define hot? People aren't very happy about it. And it's not a small amount of people, it's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people that aren't happy about it, and I think it's because they shared a lot of stuff with BMW.
Well, it is a BMW.
Yeah, basically.
It is. Correct me if I'm wrong. The chassis BMW, the engine's BMW, all the miscellaneous interior bits
I think
BMW.
a lot of electronics and stuff. I mean, it's
the
mostly,
drivetrain, but the body's all new. That's as far as I understand. But
they look cool.
it does. I feel like it kind of looks like a Miata on steroids.
It does kind of look like a Miata on steroids.
I mean, it looks cool, but like if I was, so I'm not a super purist, but I get it. I'm a purist to. I don't know. Am I a purist? I don't know. We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll get there. But I don't know. I mean, these guys that have waited how long? What was last year? The Supra? Do you know?
I think it was like 97, 98.
Somebody's going to be screaming at the camera right now.
Probably. It's been a long time ago.
Yeah. So it's been a while. So these guys have been waiting, we'll say 20 years for a new Supra to come out. And it comes out and it's half a BMW. I mean, if a new Corvette had been gone for, or if a Corvette had been gone for 20 years, Camaro, Mustang been out for 20 years, and it comes back and it's half Chrysler or half Ford, whatever it is, I'd be fairly upset too.
Yeah,
I'd be confused.
Really?
Yeah.
You had all this time and you kind of dropped the ball there?
Yeah, but I just don't know much about them.
I don't know. I don't understand the benefit of why Toyota would merge with BMW and like kind of co-develop a car.
I know it's a strange merger.
I mean, I feel like Toyota's a very profitable company where they probably have a very good design team. I mean, hell, half Lexus is basically Toyota.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I don't get why they wouldn't maybe take like the LC chassis or base or something like that, and maybe try and switch it over to the new Supra or something.
Well, you know what it reminds me of when Subaru and Toyota joined for the FRS. Yeah, that was strange.
That was a flop.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a cool car because it was a 6-speed and it was rear-wheel drive, so I kind of liked it. I've never driven one.
They're turds, but they're kind of fun.
Yeah,
they're like they handle good.
But I remember like when it came out, I honed in on that. Why is Toyota and Subaru partnering together?
Yeah.
Like some of these random companies.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Strange.
From what I heard, I think the new Supra is pretty quick.
Yeah, I did hear they were quick.
I think that they...
is it a turbo V6?
I think it's a turbo 6, yeah.
Inline 6 or V6?
I don't know. Maybe either
I think
or.
it's a V6,
Maybe.
actually.
It's whatever the BMW Z4.
Because the turbo straight 6 would be too true to the last Supra.
That's true. Yeah, they wouldn't do that. Yeah, they do V6.
Yeah, BMW would be like 9.
Yeah, 9. So yeah, it's probably a turbo 6 V6.
Yeah.
I
bet it's fun.
I think they heard they think it's a little underrated.
Oh, really?
Like somebody already got their hands on it and I think did a dyno on it, and I think that they were saying that they think it's underrated from what Toyota said basically for what the power figures are supposed to be.
Do you remember what the power was?
I don't know. I wish I was smarter, but yeah, I can't retain that. That's why I gotta write stuff down. I'm not that smart, but I don't remember what it was. But I remember them saying that they think it was underrated.
Okay, well that's cool.
Which wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, underrated's always good.
Underrated's always good.
Better than overrated.
Yeah, you got that right. You're like,
yeah, overrated.
So
what is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got a buddy that works at Toyota store. They had like a launch edition or something like that come in. That was like a different colored. I don't know what was on it, but I mean, it was cool. He sent me some pictures of it. Some dude bought it. Had some old late 80s that had like a couple thousand miles on it. That was probably a cream puff, like the nicest one out there, and it's probably just going to do the same thing. Just take this back home, put it in the garage, push the old one outside.
Mothball it.
Yeah, mothball it. So, I mean, I don't know.
I haven't seen one, so I can't really... Because in the pictures, it looks like it's... Excuse me. It looks like it's the size of a Miata in pictures.
They look small.
They do. They look really small, which the last generation Supra wasn't that small. It was a good-sized car.
It was. Yeah. It was pretty good size.
I mean, it wasn't a compact.
No.
For being in the tuner scene, it was not a compact at all.
It was full size.
So I'm excited to see it. I don't know. But I'll bet it's fun. I'll bet it's a lot of fun.
Probably is.
Am I going to go buy one? No. It's not my style, but I think it's cool. I'm glad they did it. I just feel like they probably... I don't know if it's that the purists bar was too high or that Toyota just came in too low. I don't know. But somewhere in between there, they should have met in the middle and not had a half BMW.
I mean, what kind of powertrains does kind of Toyota have that are good though? I mean, they don't really have anything that's like, we do put the V6 out of Tacoma or something in it, slap a turbo on it.
Well, no, this was their
they don't really have anything to really kind of back the powertrain up with.
Here's where they screwed up, and I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I don't make things happen. But they should have built a new engine.
Should have did everything.
I mean, when you're bringing a car back from the dead for the first time in 2 decades,
you don't mess around.
You need a new engine. Yeah.
Look at Acura with the NSX. They didn't steal anything.
Yeah. That was a hybrid, right? Half electric, half gas.
Oh, it's all, it's like a hybrid hypercar or something like that.
Yeah, we're tapping into like the small of my knowledge here on some of these cars. But, yeah, they built a new drivetrain. So when you're bringing this car back from the dead that has such a purist following like the Supra does, and you don't make a new engine for it, I mean, that's kind of, the more I analyze it now, I'm actually starting to get pissed. I'm offended.
I'm going to write them a letter.
Yeah, and I'm not even a Toyota fan.
I mean, at least when Nissan did the GTR over here to the U.S., I mean, that was a brand new whole vehicle.
That was brand new everything.
I mean...
And it was like unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, that thing's kicking ass.
I'm not a Nissan.
You can still get an old GTR. That thing's still kicking ass.
Well, define old. They came out, what, 2010?
Like 09 or 9, something, 9 or 10.
9 or 10. And they were fast.
Yeah. I mean, they made it count.
Yeah, I mean...
They didn't mess around. You're like, well, damn.
I'm a muscle car guy, but those GTRs are fast.
Yeah. Like, screw the old R34s. Japan can keep that shit. Like,
well, they had 500 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and they had launch control that the tuner community couldn't tap into, right, for like a year or two.
Yeah.
Like, it took them that long to figure out like how to tap into the stuff. It was that fancy. I was blown away at the GTR.
Yeah, they did a good job. It cost money.
Yeah, yeah.
People are willing to spend it, though.
Yeah.
That's one thing I found out, man, working in the car business. People are willing to spend their money on stuff.
Man, if there's a market, I mean, heck of it.
$90,000 trucks, people are buying them. You're like, oh, my God.
At the end of the day, if there's a market, you make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes when there's not a market, they make them anyway. I can't think of an example right now, but, the big three, they've done some in the past, like when there was no market for it and they just did it. They just came out with it. I can't think of one. I'm going to hit myself in the head later for not being able to come up with one. But, it's awesome when they just do something. They just do it. Here's an example. I read about this the other day, and I was actually really excited to tell you guys about this because I had never heard of this. I had never heard this before, but I read about it in the New Road and Track. Good crapper read. Just rich guys with high-end cars. Did you know that in the mid to late 90s, the Dodge team played around with a mid-engine Viper? I never knew about that until I read this article.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they started designing it. The team, whatever specialty, I don't think SRT was a thing yet, was it? Just whoever the specialty team at Chrysler at that time was, they started building a mid-engine Viper. And all the big execs and even a lot of the engineers, I guess, said no. Like, this will cost too much. It won't be valuable enough. I guess a lot of the Viper community caught wind of it, and even they were upset about it. And, man, I feel like it. Like, I feel
when
like
was this? The 90s, late 90s?
It was something like 95 to 97. They started doing it. It was right around when the GTS came out. The blue and white.
So that was only a few
Vipers.
years after the Viper had already been out.
Yeah, because Viper came out in 92. And they started playing around with the mid-engine. And, man, not only did this get swept under the rug, this got swept under the rug. The house got burned down. Yeah. And then the ashes got, buried in the ocean. Because I had never heard wind.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder if Dodge would have did something like that later on in the Viper's journey, if it would have helped save that Viper.
I don't know. Well, and that's the other funny thing.
Viper's cool.
The Viper went away in 17 now. So they don't make Vipers right now. But they've done that a couple times, because didn't it go away in like 08, 09, something like that? It's gone away before.
I think it went away for a couple of years.
They do it every now and then, and I don't know if it's a business strategy or like a hey, let's take it away just so demand will build again. But it went away now in 17, so now it's been 3 model years, and it's not back yet.
Tough part with the Viper is, I mean, they're coming out with all these Hellcats and Demons that are making dumb power in different cars. So it's like, do we spend the money and develop a Viper again when we already have cars that are already fast and lighting the streets on fire? Or,
well, I'd argue they can't put the power down like a Viper can, though. I mean, Vipers ended with what, 345 tires, something. It was like the biggest in the market.
Yeah, they're huge.
And it could put it down if you could drive it. I've never gotten the opportunity to drive a Viper.
Heard they're a little sketchy.
Well, that's why they're great. That's why people love Vipers.
It's a real car.
Did you know that a Viper has never been offered with an automatic transmission?
It's a real car.
You could never buy a Viper with an automatic. They never made it. I don't think they've ever come with the traction control until like the last few years of the most recent model year. They offered traction control. Prior to that, no traction control, no driver aids. I mean, it was like the last monsters.
Yeah.
Those
500 horsepower rear drive, 6-speed transmission, no driving aids, sat on the ground.
Well, it was 500 horse in 05, maybe. I think they ended at 640.
They're up that much now?
640 and 17 when they ended, I think. 640, something like that, mid 600. Yeah, it was high. But I remember not even, I think the reason I don't remember it, because it's a Viper. It's like you read Viper makes 600, you're like, oh, okay, it's a Viper. Because it's a Viper. When you read that a Corvette makes 600, you're like, oh, damn, because they don't all make 600. When a Viper does something impressive, you're like, oh, it's because it's a Viper. And that's Vipers. I mean, man, I should be a spokesman for Chrysler. Viper. Because it's a Viper.
Because it's a Viper.
With Chrysler, I'm available. Call me. But you know what I mean? I don't know. But I was really fascinated by that. I read the whole article, and honestly, with some of these magazines, I just skimmed through them. These road and track and car and driver magazines that are kind of for the uppity ups. I just skimmed through them. But that article, I read the whole thing. It was cool.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I was kind of blown away about that. But one other car that I heard was coming out recently that I wanted to talk about is the new CTS. Well, it's not a CTS, but basically the new V, the new Cadillac V. Have you heard about this thing?
I've not.
So,
is it replacing one of the current Vs, like the CTS or the ATS?
Well, and I learned a little bit about this too, and I felt like I actually was more confused at the end than I was. So, the CTS V, for those you don't know, it's like the top-end Cadillac, like upper echelon. It went away with the LT4 out of the Z06 Corvette, I think. So you could, 640 horsepower, 6 or 7 speed manual in a Cadillac. I mean, they were monsters. And prior to that, they were most known for the LSA ones with either 556 or 565. I always forget. I go kind of dyslexic.
I think it's 556.
556, that sounds right. But a 550 horsepower Cadillac, and this was in 2012, 2013, those model years. Yeah, I mean, it's the upper echelon of Cadillacs. But the new one's coming out now. It's 2019. It's called the CT6V. And I guess they're going to have 2 lower levels. I think it was a CT4V and a CT3V, which are based on like the smaller ATS chassis, I think. I only partially did my research here. I kind of caught this at the tail end of my day and didn't have enough time to look more into it. But so it's not a CTSV, it's a CT6V. But get this, though.
Is it bigger?
It is. It looks like a big car. From what I was reading about it, they say it drives like a small car, but that's, the chassis are getting tighter, the magnetic ride suspension's getting better, but it has less horsepower than before. Yeah, I was kind of fascinated about that. So the one that went away, I forget the literage on the LT4, but the LT4 was on a Z06 Corvette, 640 horsepower. It's now going to be a 4.2 liter V8. Now, here's the crazy thing, though. So Cadillac is usually taken from the Chevy parts bin. The CTS-V 556 motor, that came out of the Camaro Z01. This is going to be a new, fresh build, clean sheet build for Cadillac.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's not a Chevy motor. It's a Cadillac motor, which Cadillac hasn't done in a while. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. 4.2 liter V8. This is only a disappointment because it left with 640. But I feel like it's nothing to scoff at still, but it's going to have 550 horse.
Ooh.
I know, it's lower. It's lower than the last 2 generations.
That's a lot
I just
lower.
realized that. That's lower than the last 2 generations. Yikes. Now, here's something cool. 627 foot-pounds of torque.
Really?
That's a lot of torque out of only 4.2 liters. Yeah.
So is it a small V8?
Well, 4.2 liter, that's pretty small. Chevy doesn't do that. I mean, that's more like a Ferrari thing.
Yeah.
With that small literage. Yeah. So with that kind of
that is weird.
Small cubic inches, yeah. But the other cool thing is going to be hand-built. Kind of like the LS9s and the early ZR1s were, and I guess some of the newer engines. They're going to be hand-built. Each one is going to be hand-built by like a specific team that knows how to build them. So that was pretty cool.
That's interesting. Is the car supposed to be lighter than the current CTSs?
I think they're always getting lighter. I mean, somehow they're making these 20-foot cars lighter. Yeah. I didn't read numbers on performance, how fast it's going to be. I imagine it's going to be pretty quick, but
it's a lot of torque.
Yeah.
How do they get
lot of torque.
How do they get that kind of numbers? Is it turbo? Is it supercharged?
It is a twin turbo. Sorry, I forgot to mention. It is twin turbo. So it's a 4.2 liter twin turbo. So the turbos make up for it. I'm still impressed with that torque though.
That's a lot of torque.
Out of that small cubic inches.
EcoBoost torque.
Yeah, right. 627, but here's the for those of us that all turn wrenches, here's the bad part. These twin turbos, they're not going to be out here. They're going to be down in the valley of the engine. Yeah.
Really?
I forget what they called it. They had a name for it, of course, but basically down in the lifter valley almost. is the turbos. So to work on this thing, forget about it.
I feel like that's where the power strokes are at. I think the power strokes are up top.
Yeah, I always think about heat soak. Like, how does that work? But I don't know. Yeah,
That's
they
weird.
make it work. Yeah.
And hopefully they don't go out. Weren't the
Yeah.
North Stars stupid? Wasn't there something in the top of the motor or something that is it a starter or something like that?
I think.
There was something
I think
weird
it is
about
the
those
starter.
North Stars that they put up there that if it went out, you're like, well,
Maybe it was either the alternator or the starter.
yeah, it was something
I don't know
stupid
what
that
else
was
would have
up
been
there.
up there. I just know North Stars always blue head gaskets.
Yep.
I saw one for sale recently. I was scrolling through looking at Camaros, and for some reason a Cadillac popped in on my marketplace feed. And it was a North Star with like 150,000 miles, and it said water pump went out. So cars, needs water pump. And I was like, nah, the head gaskets are gone.
Yeah. That needs a motor.
That engine's toast. But
just scrap that car.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, man, North Stars were hot stuff back in the day, but when they started having problems, they kind of had problems.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But one thing I did want to talk to you about. So we're talking about this mid-engine stuff, the Corvette stuff, all these things changing. I guess GT500 didn't really break ground at any styles of like going mid-engine or anything. But so I had I don't know what you call it. I'll just tell you, I was at Good Guys. Last month I talked about the show, and there was a Mustang. There was a '68 Mustang with a 4.3 liter Ferrari V8 with twin turbos in it, in a Mustang.
That's interesting.
It was a full-on SEMA car, SEMA build. It was there in the the top 10 builders trying to win the whole award show for it. I don't think it won. I think something else beat it, but it was a 4.3 liter V8 in a Mustang, and it got me thinking. With this Corvette coming out mid-engine, like I said, some of the purists are mad. Reading about this Viper, I felt like it was all kind of a culmination. It really got me thinking, like, is this almost like, do you think this is almost sacrilegious that some of these things are happening, or do you think it's all just hot rodding?
I think it's all kind of just hot rodding, man. I think ever since cars and stuff were out and about, people were putting other stuff in, trying to get more power, change it up, make it how they want it. I mean, I don't think it's bad stuff. I say let anybody do whatever they want to do. Lift a truck, lower a truck, swap a Ferrari motor in a Mustang.
The only
put a Mustang motor in a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, and it's funny, because I read these articles and they talk about how many people are upset about this, and you're never going to please 100% of the people. No. That's just not realistic. But like with this Ferrari Mustang, I read about a lot of people. The majority thought it was cool, but I read about a lot of people not liking it, and I was like, why not? Why not, man? It's hot rodding.
Can't appreciate that kind of work.
It's hot rodding. Like, I appreciate anything. I remember, God, it's probably been 10 years. There was a hot rod article about a '67 Camaro with a turbo 2JZ engine in it that made like 600 wheel horsepower, and it had a Toyota Supra motor in it. And all the people in Hot Rod the next month, because Hot Rod shared like some of the comments from the previous month, and they were like, people were pissed. They were like, this is garbage. This isn't you. What is this? You can't do this to Camaro. And as a Camaro guy, I loved it. It's
cool. It's still a 600 horsepower Camaro.
Yeah, it's still a car. I don't know why people get so upset. Like, now I get if you take like the one-off car, like that rare, like if you took like a real Copo and cut it all up and put like a Lambo engine in,
that kind of hurt a little
that's
bit.
A little different.
Yeah.
If it's a rare car, but if you're taking just the base model car or one that wasn't that rare.
Yeah, it was probably an old V6.
Yeah, and you hack it up, man, I love it. When I saw this Ferrari engine, I was like, that's cool. That's cool. Because how many Ferrari engine Mustangs are there?
Can't say I've seen one.
It's got to be the only one. I thought that was cool. But it's funny how people get so upset about, and that's why I came up with the term like sacrilegious, because some of these people are like, you can't do this. Like, you can't have a mid-engine Corvette. Well, why not? Why not? It's not like they went 4-cylinder or V6. The 4GT, I forgot to mention that. A lot of people were upset when the 4GT went with a V6 twin-turbo EcoBoost. And I was actually a little bit, I was kind of like, ooh. But, I mean, the performance numbers are up there,
It's not lacking there.
Yeah, they're
winning races.
They're trying to get their V6s up there. Does Ford have not to go on a tangent, does Ford have a short-term or long-term plan, I guess, to get rid of V8s? Like, have you heard any like mumble about that?
I haven't, no. I mean, the only V8s that you can really get are in the Super Duties and then the F-150s and the Mustangs. So, I mean, everything else, it's not like you're going to put a V8 in an Escape, but, I mean, they've mostly phased out V6s unless there's a turbocharger or two on it.
Well, EcoBoost, right?
Yeah, EcoBoost.
Oh, you
But there's
mean with
no,
other
like,
manufacturers?
Yeah, there's no like you can't get a just regular V6 Explorer now. It's only the 2.3 liter Turbo 4 EcoBoost, which makes more power than the previous V6, or you have the EcoBoost 3 liter V6. That's twin turbo. So,
And there's now a well, like kind of like the '80s again. There's now a 4-cylinder turbo Mustang, right?
Yep.
It does have a turbo, right?
It does. Yep.
Okay.
It's similar motor that's in the Explorer now, 2.3 liter Turbo 4.
What kind of power is that making?
310, 350.
350 torque?
Yep.
No.
10-speed transmission, 6-speed manual.
You can't make 350 torque out of a 4-cylinder.
I wouldn't lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They make power.
I just figured the torque was at like 220.
No. There's supposed to be a it's like a high performance pack EcoBoost coming out or something, I think in 20, and it's going to be I think like 330 and 350.
So how many different engine options are there in I was going to say a GT, but in a base Mustang, non-Shelby stuff, how many different engine options are there?
2. The 2.3 EcoBoost and then the 5 liter V8.
Okay, so you can't do a V6 EcoBoost.
Nope. I think they quit that in 18. I think 17 was last year. 15, 16, 17. I think you can get 3 motors. One was the V6, and then in 18.
So you could for a while.
They changed. Yeah.
But not now. Okay.
It's making more power.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 engine options for a base model Mustang. That's
a
lot of options.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. That's a lot of torque. I'm kind of stuck on that. How they made that out of a
They run good.
four-cylinder.
I mean, you're like, kind of sounds like a turd, but then you drive it and you're like, it's actually not that bad.
She moves.
Yeah, it actually moves. So
Nice.
no, I mean that's probably how. I mean, I've only been there almost 5 years, but back in 11 when Ford made that big switch to introduce that 3.5 EcoBoost in the F-150s, there was probably a lot of people that are like, "What do you mean you're getting rid of a V? What is this? That doesn't make any power." And then people were driving them and they're like, "Dang, this thing runs pretty good."
Yeah.
So
Everyone I talk to seems to like them.
it's change. Nobody likes change, but sometimes change is good, sometimes change is bad, and it's kind of part of the gamble.
As long as there's still a V8 option in the trucks. I mean, you got to keep a V8 option.
V8 still sound good. Start up, sounds like a truck.
I'm glad we talked about that. And one thing I wanted to bring up with you that nobody else will know, like you hopefully will. What's the scoop on the new 7.3 Godzilla motor? Is that what they're calling it?
I think that's what they're calling it, yeah. I think that's going to be a engine that's going to fit between the current 6.2 gas and then the 6.7 Power Stroke.
And it's a 7.3 gasoline motor.
7.3 gas.
Because the 7.3 used to be a diesel motor. It was the Super Duty motor that went away that everybody's sad about,
Yep.
myself included.
I think, I'm trying to think of power. Is it 430 horse, 475 torque, I think?
And that's pretty good.
That's pretty stout.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty stout. So, I think it's gonna be awesome. Because there's a lot of people that want diesels, but it's a $9,200 upcharge, man. It's a lot of cheese. Diesels are cool, but it's a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
So if you can get a gas motor that's more stout than that 6.2, it's probably gonna be a pretty good option.
That's cool. Kind of like how Dodge has the 5.7, but then you can also get the 6.4 Hemi before you go to the 6.7 Cummins.
Is it 6? What do you have to get the 6.4?
I think you have to get a 2500. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can get a Ram 1500 with a 6.4.
I don't think so either.
Don't believe so.
I don't know if all the HDs are 6.4s or if they're 5.7s and 6.4s.
All the HDs now, I don't know starting in what year, but now they're all 6.4s. I believe so. I think it's only 6.4 or 6.7 Cummins. Used to be the 5.7 Hemis. My buddy Chris had some, but yeah.
Ford has a Tremor package coming out too, which I think is going to be kind of targeted towards the Power Wagon.
Tremor package.
Yeah, so
it's going to be a little picture like Kevin Bacon on the glove box. Or
yeah.
Okay.
No, it's going to be basically it's going to have a little bit taller suspension, a little bit bigger tires, different wheels. Appearances are going to be a little different. I think going to have lockers in the front and rear and everything. So it's going to be something that's going to be, I think, targeted kind of towards the Power Wagon. But the biggest thing is that it doesn't affect any sort of capabilities for towing or payload, because I think the Power Wagon's affected quite a bit with that with those numbers because of the way everything's set up on it. It won't have a winch or anything like that.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. The Power Wagon used to be a cool truck. I haven't
they're
followed
super
it for
cool.
a while.
I didn't realize that you can't tow or haul as much as a normal heavy duty Dodge with the Power Wagons, which is weird because
it kind of makes sense. It's probably got long travel suspension, right?
Something, yeah. I mean, I think those trucks are kind of made to crawl around some rocks and stuff like that. But
I haven't followed the Power Wagon in a lot of years. I followed it a lot when it first came back out in what's 05, 06. Whenever the Power Wagon came back out, I followed it a lot because, like you said, it was cool. I mean, big tires, it was lifted a little bit. It had
winch on the front.
Yep, it had a winch. It had the graphics
lockers.
package. It had lockers, and I remember it had an electronic disconnected sway bar.
Yep.
For off-roading, and I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's definitely cool.
Yeah. And it's probably still got all that stuff, but I just don't follow it as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. But one more question about the Ford stuff. I feel like I need to have a light on you.
No, that's fine. Whatever.
Is the Bronco coming back, or is this another 10 years of BS from Ford?
Yeah, I mean, so the last thing I heard, which is basically what everybody else probably knows, it sounds like it's going to be a 2020 release or a 2021 released in 2020. So I would say that we still probably would have a year to go.
Okay.
You know, if it's going to be a 2021 release in 2020, it'd probably pop out in the fall.
Yeah.
But man, we don't even know what it's going to look like. I mean, there's been some pictures of stuff. There's been people that have sketched it up thinking that this is what they think it's going to be. There's been some spy photos of like a weird chopped up Ranger rolling around on a shortened chassis, which I think they're just like chassis testing. So yeah, I mean, Ford does a real good job of keeping stuff under lock and key if they don't want it to get out. So
that, and they keep a good. They're good at keeping you on the leash for 20 years. I feel like the Bronco is
pretty good at that.
There's been renderings of the Broncos and concepts since like 01. I work with a buddy he's a big Ford guy, loves Broncos. Every time I see him, he's like, Kyle, the Bronco's coming out. I'm like, I don't think it is. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm telling you, I think the first like Detroit Auto Show Bronco concept was like 01, and that was 18 years ago. Like, I'm tired of hearing about it. Ford, I'm tired of hearing about the new Bronco. Either do it or don't do it. Stop teasing us. Every year they talk about it.
They're doing it. And I think they're targeting, I think they're going to target the Wranglers. I think that's what it's going after is the Wranglers.
But, I mean, is it going to happen? Is it actually going to happen?
As far as I know. I mean, I'm not an engineer.
You probably got the inside scoop better than any of us.
From what I've been told and from what I've seen is it's happening. It should be a 2021 that we get in 2020. It'll probably be a 2021 we probably get in 2021, but
you think it's actually happening this time?
I think it's happening. I think they're doing it.
Good.
And if they're targeting Jeeps, I mean, that's a huge market to go after. There's nobody else that does anything like Jeeps.
It's big.
I mean, there's Jeeps everywhere.
That's like David and Goliath.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, if you're going after Jeep, that's woo.
But the tough thing is, I mean, those Wranglers sell like hotcakes, man. So, I mean, it's like going after the Tacomas. You know, it's a very tough market to try and take back over because they've taken it over for years.
Yeah, and I don't know how well that's worked out. I mean, you talked about the Rangers a little bit, but I don't see them. Not yet, at least. I don't see them out there. Is it going to be on a Ranger chassis, do you think?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it might be something different. But
so you think they'll make a whole new chassis?
They might. They can take parts of a Ranger chassis and use some stuff here and there. I mean,
I'll tell you, for 18 years of development,
chassis.
Yeah, it better be a damn spaceship for 18 years of development.
Could
here.
Be.
Like,
then people will be mad. They'll be like, "Oh, you bought the Bronco back, and it's a spaceship."
Like, seriously, I think my buddy, I think he's going to lose it if they don't actually make it.
Cool. You should be getting one of the first ones then.
Yeah,
Tell him you got an inside guy.
I'll send him to you for an allocation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's only going to cost $70,000.
Yeah, I mean, no big deal.
Yeah,
we'll make it work for him.
Yeah,
but they're gonna be cool. It's funny. One of my other buddies, he's like, when those new Broncos come out, he's like, I'm getting one. I was like, all right, man, I'll be hunting you down.
Yeah. Hey, if they do, I'll be the first one there to look at it.
I bet.
Let me come look at it.
We'll let you look.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, but speaking of cool stuff, strange stuff, interesting stuff, different stuff, it's time for the Jegs' Strangest Part of the Week.
This is a surprise.
Got a very interesting, well, it's the first time on the show.
That's true. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting this.
So, Jegs have you heard of junior dragsters?
I have.
That the kids run? Little, they're 4-stroke, but yeah, the little cute little dragsters they run.
Yeah,
they run
cool.
like 8s in the 8th or something, which I guess is actually kind of fast, but Jegs don't mind the hot sauce spilled on them.
Oh my God, you bought this for me?
Yeah. They have a junior dragster EV conversion kit for if you want to make your junior dragster that's supposed to be a family-friendly budget thing, in theory. You can buy a $9,100 electric conversion kit.
In all fairness, how much do you think the motor and everything probably costs for one of these things?
I mean, I feel like you can get an electric motor for like $1,000 or $2,000.
I mean, like the gas motor.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
built Junior Dragster gas motor would be $1,000 or less, I would think. I don't know.
So?
I've never run Junior Dragster.
I bet they're probably more than we think.
That
might not be a bad deal. $9,100.
That seems awful to me, but I don't know. I don't know.
Does it make it faster? Or do you just compete in a different class? That's the tough part too. Like, do you gain anything, or you just
I haven't been to
I'm in a different class now?
I know I haven't been to the drag strip in a few years, but I don't remember them having classes for Junior Dragster. I remember
if you're electric though.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I remember at the drag strip we always used to go to back in the day. We'd have to wait every now and then. We'd be in the street and strip class, then you'd have the dragsters, then you'd have the bikes, and then you'd have to wait a little while for the junior dragsters, the kids. And we'd kind of be like, oh, look at this, that's cute. And then the thing would fly down the track and it was just buzzing like a pissed off lawnmower. But yeah, but I couldn't believe that, man. When I found that, I was like, are you serious? Like,
that's interesting.
I don't know if anybody's made one. I should look into it, but
wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah, I thought that was fascinating. I don't know.
Follow up next episode with who's got a electric junior dragster.
I might. I'll reach out to some contacts.
And how fast are they?
I got a lot of contacts. I don't know if I got any contacts in the junior dragster world. It's an underworld. But I don't know. I thought that was pretty wild. Not quite as wild as that intake turtle from last time with Brad and Ryan. You guys may remember that. That was a hell of a conversation. Yeah, have you heard of those intake turtles?
I have not.
All right. We'll touch on that later. So Justin, like I like to do with everybody, I like to talk about dream cars. Sky's the limit versus reality. What is your reality-based, plausible, could happen in the next few years dream car?
Man, like realistic?
Realistic, like, and I say next few years, it could happen in the next 10 years. Something that's realistic.
Or when I retire and I'm about to die and I finally have enough money saved
that's
up.
Probably boy, I've never been asked this. That's probably getting close.
Corvette.
something that's plausible. Something that you could sell. Something that you could sell your daily, sell all your crap for, and buy. Something realistic.
Man, that's a tough question. I mean, I would probably take about.
Do you have one now?
No, not really. I'd probably. Either any of the Shelbys. GT500, about almost any of your GT500, GT350s, newer stuff. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
But okay, so let's say since you were in high school, has there been anything like obtainable that you've kind of had your eye on for 10 or 15 years now? Kind of wanted?
Not really. I got
you keep it really real.
I'm stuck in that old Integra, man. That thing just about ruins my life. But
yeah, we didn't talk about that at all.
Oh God.
You're a domestic guy. You like to you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But Justin, he is a domestic guy, but he comes from an import background. And you're rebuilding an Integra. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a 98 Integra. It's a GSR. I bought it when I was 18, fresh out of high school, and I drove it pretty hard for about a month. I blew it up, and it's basically just sat in storage ever since. So here we are several years later, and finally have a motor in it. I got a transmission's rebuilt, motor's built. It's a sleeved, stroked, forged bottom end, forged pistons, built head, cams, port polish. It's a built NA motor. Converting it over to E85, trying to make some power out of it, but it's been apart a long time, just trying to piece it back together, man. That's the tough part. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Bolts, sensors, brackets, all sorts of stuff.
Well, that's the hardest thing. If you're missing, because I text you every now and then, like, how's the progress going? You're like, man, it's killing me. If you don't have all the smalls, like, that's what kills you.
I should have left the motor and everything in it until I actually decided to pull the motor out of it and put another one in it, because it just would have been so much. I just would have been able to just transfer everything. I took the motor out probably 10, 11, 12 years back. Had stuff put in baggies, boxes, had it in storage, got moved around. Most of the stuff I think is just gone. I don't know where it went. But yeah, it's trying to piece it all together. That's the tough part, because if I would have had everything just swapped over, man, it would have been back together and probably running a while ago. But
everyone always thinks something's easy. As long as you got the engine and the car, people think something's easy.
Oh, it's the worst. I'll probably never do this again. This is terrible. It's a terrible idea.
If you're missing the smalls, if you're missing a bracket here, a bolt here, a solenoid here, a sensor here, if you're missing all that stuff, you're really up shit's creek.
Some of that stuff's tough to find. It's a 98, so it's 21 years old. A lot of stuff you don't want to source at a dealer because of cost, or it could be discontinued, and some of the stuff trying to find a junkyard's kind of getting tough. You know, I mean, maybe tomorrow while I'm off, I might go to a junkyard and try and hunt some stuff down, see if I can find it. But I mean, if I can't find it there, I might have to get it through the dealer, which means money.
Yeah, a lot more money.
That's
I'm always
sucks.
around, man. It's not.
You want to go to the junkyard tomorrow?
I gotta work.
Oh,
I know. I haven't been to the junkyard in over a year, and it's killing me.
It's been a while.
It's killing me.
I haven't been in a long time either. And
Yeah.
I think it's gonna rain tomorrow, so I probably won't be able to go. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not like looking forward to it. I kind of wish I could just like get in my car and start it and drive it and enjoy it instead of
I believe it. I know
stand
that
in the
feeling.
garage and stare at it and cuss for a couple hours and then figure out I'm just missing stuff.
I know that feeling, man. When I was doing the LS swap, there were times like I was honestly just fully discouraged. Like I was like,
You're like, I'm gonna burn this down.
yeah, where I was like, I know that I only have like 2 months left of work, but I don't know if I can tolerate it. And you push through and you persevere, and you will too. But
Yep.
but I'll hey,
Bust out the credit card.
yeah, because it's all worth it in the end, right?
I sure hope so.
So speaking of busting out credit cards, so dream car, sky's the limit. Doesn't matter how much it costs, anything. You win the lottery, any dream car, or any car you could have. But yeah, I got to choose one.
Man, I mean, I might get something stupid like a Koenigsegg or something like that.
Any specific model?
Whatever's the fastest and most expensive.
I like it.
I don't think any of them suck. But I mean, just something like that. I mean, that is like a purely exotic vehicle.
But is there one? I mean, is the Koenigsegg
I'm not smart enough to know all the. Yeah, sure, the
I'm not
one will
either.
work. Koenigsegg one, yeah, that's probably fine. I don't think they have a whole lot of them.
Wait, is there one called the One?
I think so, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I just said that. Is it that one?
There's something like that.
I don't know.
It's like real fast.
That's a heck of a name for a supercar. The One. Yeah,
You're like, what is that? Yes, that's the one. That's it.
it's the one.
That's
Well,
the
maybe
best
that's
car.
how they came up with the name. Somebody said, "That is the One."
I think it was a dude's like father's name or something he named the one after. Not the actual one, but like there's one of them that they just came out and it's like the baddest Koenigsegg ever, and it's probably like several $1 million.
Well, in theory, the next one should always be the baddest ass one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Cadillac and you make less power than the ones before, but
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to keep you guys posted on that as I learn more. I don't know. I kind of read about that, and now I kind of regret bringing it up because that's not good. Now it's still gonna be a monster.
it's going to be probably faster than the current ones, but
yeah,
usually how
somehow
it goes.
it might be.
Dream car for you, within reach, and then a dream car if nothing mattered.
I've kind of talked about this a little bit. Dream car reality is it's still the same as it's been. I want a 93 or 94 Viper, RT10. It's got to be red. It's got to have those 3-spoke slashing wheels. That's what I want. When I was a kid, I had the bedroom wall poster. I remember I had
one of those
like
too.
a school folder with
I
a
think
red
mine was
Viper.
blue.
Yeah. Oh, so you were probably into the GTS, like 97 with the
I
white
used to
stripes.
I used to have posters all in my room of all cars and everything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. The 90s were a good time.
They were great.
Yeah. Now kids have
I
like
didn't have any bills.
that too. But yeah, it's definitely the Viper because I mean, honestly, like I've been fortunate enough and worked hard enough that I've owned some of my dream car realities. You know, the 4th gen WS6 black on black 6-speed.
It's a nice car.
I had that.
Probably
that
got rid of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those are going up already, so I'm kind of getting rid of it. I actually told my buddy, because a buddy of mine bought that WS6. I told him, if you sell it, like, you have to sell it to me. And he said, all right, deal. But the last time a buddy told me that, he sold it from under me. That's another story. But, I got the Camaro.
You probably got more money.
Yeah, probably. But to come up with a new one, other than the Viper, it's funny. Before I bought my 69 Camaro, I wanted, and I still want, either a 68 or 69 Chevelle.
Old Chevelles are cool.
68 or 69 A-body. I don't know what it is. I mean, the 70 to 72s, they're mean looking. They're badass. They look like come out and punch you in the face. But there's something about those 68 or 69s because the hood line came over the headlights. They kind of sloped down over the headlights, and they just looked mean.
I can appreciate that.
I don't know if I could ever trade my Camaro, but I would really, really like a 68 or 69 Chevelle. Yeah. So I think that's still kind of up there for something I'd like.
I can appreciate that.
As far as no limits, yikes.
A bunch of old Chevelles.
Yeah, probably just a collection of old Chevys. Dream car, sky's the limit? I don't know.
It's a tough question because it's like
It is a tough question.
I couldn't. It's hard to put. I guess it's hard to put something with that kind of value in reality to normal people like us.
Yeah.
You're like, you're going to spend $8 million on a car? You're like, maybe I'll
Yeah.
make that in my lifetime. I mean, Jesus.
Well, you know what's blown me away? So I've been doing these questions since the first episode because I think at the end it's fun to always do something reoccurring, see how each different person does on the same topic, across lines, and I've had fun doing it because you would think when you say dream car, sky's the limit. You'd think some people would say some crazy car that was a one-off or some crazy
Koenigsegg
European
or
car.
something.
Well, yeah, Koenigsegg. You're actually the craziest one I've heard yet.
I was thinking just money. I'm like,
But
I don't got to pay for it.
But I mean, most people have said like realistic stuff, or they've said like a $300,000 Chevy or something. People have said pretty like real. I've been really like blown away with the responses to these dream car questions usually because people are pretty realistic. The Koenigsegg's crazy, and I like that.
That was pretty.
Because you didn't say Lambo, you didn't say.
Those are too common. You
yeah.
see Lambos, friggin' Easton.
You said
Ferrari.
Koenigsegg.
I saw 2 Ferraris the other day in New Albany when I was eating lunch outside.
Yeah.
And an old orange Camaro too.
Oh well.
Just
yeah.
like yours. Pretty nice.
There you go.
Man, I think if I could go back to that question about an achievable car,
Yeah.
it'd probably be Terminator Cobra, man. 0304. I have a very, very soft spot in my heart for those.
Those are mean cars.
I just like them, man. I mean, they didn't make a lot of. 390 horsepower. I'm pretty sure, but
Those are underrated. They were underrated.
Were
at
they really?
390. Oh, they were way underrated.
they
at
look
390.
so good too.
Yeah.
Market on those, man. It's tough to find one of those.
And those were the only 2 years they did independent rear suspension before they did IRS in before they started becoming common in 12, 13, 14, something like that.
They did IRS up till 15 is when they went back to they did solid up until 15.
So 15 was the first year for IRS.
First year back for IRS.
Okay.
Yep.
But like he said in 0304, they had these blown 4.6 Cobras with independent rear suspensions. And in 0304, that was the Camaro and Firebird had just gone away in 02. Those are gone. And Ford says, okay, well, now that our competition is gone, let's up the ante. I mean, that's cool. That is really cool. And a lot of people throw like Ken Bells or Whipples on those things, and they make 600 wheel.
Yeah.
They're just mean cars.
They are mean. I think I probably first fell in love with them when I was 16 working as a detailer at another Ford dealer. And I think it was one of the sales managers or finance managers or something like that had to take me and somebody else down the road to pick up a car or something and bring it back that we left at the fair or something. And he had an 03, 04 black Cobra convertible. And top down, sitting in the back seat, hearing it whine a little bit. And I was like, this is a badass car. It was black on black. They're cool, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to get one. They're just not cheap.
That's definitely a good dream car.
They're
Reality
cool.
dream car. Yeah.
I love my Lightning. Probably should have never got rid of my Lightning, but
Yeah, what year was your Lightning?
01.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but it was a little I liked it. It was a little rough around the edges though.
Needed TLC. If I would have
Yeah.
kept it, it would have got the TLC. Bumper, fender. No, that was about it.
Your oil air separator was always a little more full than I would have liked it. I remember looking at that and I was like, ew.
It's because I drive it.
That's yay. All right. Good answer. Good response. I
Yeah.
like it.
It was fun, man. That was a fun truck. That was a real fun truck. It was cool.
Yeah.
They're still cool.
They are. You don't see them much.
No.
I mean, you don't see second-gen Lightnings much, and you never see a first-gen Lightning.
No.
I mean, at least not a clean one.
No. I mean, the first gen ones are cool, but the second gen, man, they're supercharged. They got that whine.
Yeah, with the blowers.
I mean, that's what's cool about them.
They're pretty neat. Well, Justin, that's really about all I got. I feel like we covered everything. Is there anything you want to close on? Any last minute things you want to talk about, discuss?
No.
Words of wisdom you want to leave for the folks at home? Any
Not
car
really.
buying tips for anybody that's wanting to buy a new car but is scared to death?
Give us a chance. We're not bad people. We're just out here to help, try to make a living. So
there's a lot of people out there that are scared and intimidated.
They are. I mean, car salesmen got a bad rap for a while, trying to be snaky and conniving and stuff like that. There's still some people that are out there doing that, but this whole next generation is not. I mean, we don't like to fight just as anybody else, man. We're just there to try and help. We like cars. We like to sell cars, make people happy, put them in it, see them smile. Just let us try and help.
The American dream right there.
American dream.
Yeah.
We're just out there working like everybody else.
God bless.
God bless.
Justin, appreciate you being here.
Been a pleasure, man.
Everybody, thanks for listening as always. Be sure and check us out on Instagram as always at Budge's Wrench Set there to keep on the up and up with things. Like I said, have those two early Chevy OBS, as we have learned. Old body style Chevy pickups for sale right now. Feel free to get in contact with us if you're interested. Other than that, guys, we'll see you on the next time on Much's Wrench Set. Be sure to leave any comments, anything you want topics on. Guys, give us questions. Is there anything you want to hear us discuss, not discuss? Anything we can delve into deeper, just feel free to leave comments and questions. We love getting involved, love answering questions and talking to you guys. So, yeah, thanks, guys, for listening. We'll see you next time on Much's Wrench Set.